Welcome back. My name is Jaco. I'm a goldsmith. I've been in the trade for many years. Behind the camera, as per usual, is Damia. We take something that comes through the workshop on a weekly basis, capture it on film, and lift the veil of what happens in a jewelry workshop. I've got an idea that a customer brought to me, which is usually where it all starts. Customer also provided the metal in this case. That's always handy because it cuts down on the cost and we can just focus on our labor charges. I carved a wax model once the customer's seen it and he's agreed upon the design. There's a relative weight that I can calculate then to see that if this was an 18 karat gold, it gives you an idea how to calculate the different metals. It's a really helpful chart, so take a screenshot. This is the step-by-step of how I created this flat top, as we used to call them. Taking the measurements is always the first step. Because I'm going to be working with a piece of metal that I'm going to be folding around, the thickest part of the ring are on the corners. You have to consider, in this case, very important, the diameter of the finger, because that has a relationship with the height and how far that flat top is going to reach. On the edges over here, if you take that measurement on the points of where the flat top ends, that's your highest spot. So I need to prepare my metal to accommodate the highest spot that I have. The thickness of the thing, and this concerns those corners I was talking about, that needs to be a little bit more than my previous upright ingot can handle. Because we're going to be rolling something down, typically I go on exactly the width that I need, but in this case I need to maximize the thickness of the ring, so I'm going to go ever so slightly wider. I'm using the actual wax product now on this little bar, placing it in the center, and I'm marking down exactly where I need my points to run up to. The ring, the wax model, isn't 4 millimeters on the side. You'd be walking around like that. It needs to be thinner. Once I taper the edges down, bending it into a round circle makes more sense. If I'm dispensing it by rolling it like this, then I know that I don't have to file it. Soften up the metal, get it soft enough to get it to the point where it's round.
Oh my God, can you give me a heads up?
Sorry. Same issue, different year.
Yeah.
You hammer it, you fight it, you get it to the point where the parts match up, you solder it. We got a round ring. Keep annealing it, keep softening it up. It's going to kind of try and push back because you're hardening it. Now I'm going to shape the sides. I'm going to bring down the bottom. I've taken the measurements from the wax to the gold. I've made the marks so that I know I'm safe. Now I'm not going exactly the same. I'm going ever so slightly bigger because there's still a bit of filing that needs to happen. I hook in one of the teeth and I pull the saw blade right to the top because the saw blade is straight. So if I've drawn something slightly off, the saw blade is like a ruler right to the top. So I'm engaging the tooth. I'm not cutting. I'm just making sure that I make a little dotted line right to the top just to give me that reassurance that the line I'm looking at is going to be straight. If you're hammering something and it does this, you've got some resistance, you've got less of an impact going here because it moves down. You stop this moving down nonsense by putting something in the vise and clamping it in and giving it the best chance that you can possibly get to form it. And I'm hammering the shape, the basic shape, into the ring itself. That's what I've done, and it listened. I'm flattening the top, not by filing it, but by hammering it flat. I'm not looking for a final product here. I'm looking to give me the most general shape that I can work with so that when I start filing, again, I have less losses. And secondary, to compress the metal, it's much harder. Back to my wax model, making sure I'm on par with the height, with the corners, shaping it based on the wax that I've just done over there. Now that's going to press my metal out to the sides where I'm obviously hammering it, but then I go back to the bench and I file those parts that have been squashed sideways, I file that flat. This is a process of elimination. I want to make sure that I'm safe, don't go too far. very, very plain, straightforward ring. We're going to customize it ever so slightly. I did 2 olive leaves, one from this side and one coming from this side, and holding a little diamond, which is something that came from a piece of jewelry that they brought to me. Something a little different, a little bit more personal. Exactly what the customer wanted. I was very happy with the result. Thank you for watching the video. We will see you next time. Keep well.